Win video. Look, I'm working on it. I'm working on it, alright? I do apologize. Hello, everybody. I was planning for this video a couple weeks, but I've just been too busy. There was ERCS finals. I wasn't in it, but it impacted my schedule. Then there was Fearless Fights that I entered. Then there was ERCC quals that I entered. Technically, the tournaments don't stop. There's ERCC semis this weekend, finals the next, and then even in preseason, we got preseason tournaments now. There's LR because I got pushed off of the regular tournament schedule. So I won't be entering any of those, so hopefully I should be able to return back to creating videos at a regular time. Once again, there's not like a video schedule, but I try to think about that sort of thing. But anyway, macro guide, snowballing, tempo, the buzzwords, right? The goal, again, of this video, and specifically how to think about ER video series, is so that mid-level players have something to cling on to, something to think about in game instead of just autopiloting from dopamine to dopamine, right? Because it's very important. If you're going through the game and you're not thinking about a single thing, something's wrong, right? You need to have something to cling on to mental wise, and that's what this is about, right? So if you need a step 1, step 2, step 3 about macro, that's not what this guide is. There will be a guide by Eclisp in the description. It might be a little outdated, but it's very, very, very good. If you need something a little bit more concrete, it'll be in the description. Go read it. It'll even be a great supplement to this video, I think. Even if you are a good player, a top player, I think you should probably read this. I think it's a great way to wrap your head around all the ideas. That being said, I did want to go over the context for why I'm making this video and my background. I have been playing since early access, and I've been playing Zahir since early access, and a lot of my understanding of the game came from this one equals rant. This will also be in the description if you want to watch it. It's about 50 minutes long, maybe an hour. Sorry. And equals still plays the game, doesn't play Zahir anymore, but used to be the best Zahir in North America for a very long time, and he ranted about the state of Eternal Return season 5-ish, and it warped my understanding of the game. It helped me understand the game at a higher level. And it helped me dispel a lot of problematic thoughts that I thought about Eternal Return game design. I recommend giving it a watch regardless. Again, it's from Solos. It's a little bit of a time capsule moment. I think it's really fun. But yeah, it helped me a lot. And it helped me understand that Eternal Return is a game about snowballing. The goal of the game is about snowballing. We want to build a tiny advantage, tiny little snowball, and then we want to use that advantage to build an even bigger advantage, right? That's the entire game, the entire Power Fantasy, our entire game plan should be about making the biggest snowball so that we can bully and kill the other teams, right? Because again, everything in Eternal Return is about the 7 other teams in the game. That's why we do everything. Sorry, had a monster break. So important questions that arise is when do they typically start? How can you start them? How do you recognize if you're ahead or behind? And if you're behind, how do you come back, right? And if you're ahead, how do you push that advantage? Now, coming back from behind, I could talk about that for 30 minutes, for sure. I will leave that to the title card or to the in-screen card. I have a poll. It's one of the options in the poll. We'll get to it. Everything else, all the other questions, will be in the next slides. So first, when do they typically start? Day 2 is the answer. It's the most important day in the game, by far. Every single time you have a game where you're like minus 800 and you don't know what you're doing, like every team is stronger than you, everybody's bullying you, you feel super behind, more than likely your day 2 went shit. I could almost guarantee you like 80% of the time, you could point at day 2, that's probably where it went wrong. And the reason for this, it's the first time and the last time in the game where all teams are around the same parity and then an objective spawns, right? Everybody is on generally equal footing, and then here's a round of objectives, go take them, right? Day two is incredibly, incredibly important. You need to be thinking every single game about how do I secure day two, right? Day two, we have, I think, 3 Tree of Lives. In sometimes seasons, this will be 2, sometimes it'll be 3. It'll change the locations, whatever. And then there is, I think, 2 meteorites, right? So in day two, looking at the right side, we got trees, we got meteorites, we got the highest value day farm in the game. We have triple force core buy, and we might have won a high value fight in day two, right? Day two fight is worth more RP, it's worth more credits, more experience than all of the fights in day one, night one. So maybe on the contest for the objective, we've won a fight, right? So this is our snowball, right? We started a snowball on day two, right? The question is how do we ensure out of 100 games the percent chance that we start the snowball increases? How do we start the snowball itself? The answer is pre-day two. Everything we do before day two is catered and geared towards getting that first objective tick, right? We want good food, we want good cams and recons, we want CCTV and good position before the objective. You can think about, we want good farm and weapon mastery for the objective. We don't want good farm and weapon mastery for nothing, right? If we're not hitting people, the weapon mastery doesn't matter, right? We want good weapon mastery so we can bully and hit other people off of the objective, right? Importantly, flash is a 90-second cooldown. Night one is 90 seconds, right? So if you flash in night one, you're saying that you don't want to have flash up for your first objective. So just as a rule of thumb, unless that night one fight is going to turn into the day two objective, right? Like there's a fight 20 seconds out in temple before the temple tree, then sure, right? Like that's fine. But generally speaking, don't flash in night one. So pre-day two, prep for day two itself, and then day two, we either become really strong or we become kind of strong, right? Now, for determining if you're ahead or behind, I'm not going to give a spreadsheet for like on average day 3 and I have 12 weapon mastery or whatever. Like that's not useful. They change the weapon mastery formula basically every season and there's only 2 weeks left in the season. But generally speaking, that's something that you can pay attention to game, right? You can see, and this might take a little bit to have a full understanding, but you can also just like find another team, they're lower weapon master than you, right? Or you could have like a sort of understanding like day 4 I'm at this tempo, day 3 I'm at this tempo, day 2 whatever, right? But for objective wise, if you were one of the strongest teams in the game on day 2, you got a day 2 objective, you got 3 force core buys, sometimes you want D-Fury or Wisdom Robes or something like that, but generally you have 3 highest impact buys, and maybe you have a gacha, right? So the strongest team has about 5 items. They might have, 6 or 7. Anyway, and the weakest team might have 3 items, right? The weakest team, maybe they didn't get a gacha, they didn't get a day 2 objective, and they just got 3 triple, the triple buy, right? Sometimes we're so homeless, we got bullied off of our buys, we can't even get 3 buys, right? This is the sort of idea you can recognize very easily if you're ahead or behind by just counting how many objectives there has existed and how many objectives you have, and thus, like if you've taken an objective every single day night cycle, you're probably extremely strong compared to the lobby. Versus if you haven't, then obviously you're weaker, right? And then, if you are strong, you want to be pushing that advantage, right? You want to loop it. So you prep for an objective take, you take the objective, and then you use that to look for fights, right? Before the next objective. Now, using that advantage doesn't have to be fights, right? If there's, like, let's say late game, there's 4 zones left, and you could, after wicks, like, I don't know, you take wick late or you come out of a rift or whatever, I don't know. Let's say you take an objective that makes you really, really strong. You're stronger than every other team. Everybody's running away from you. You could take 2 out of 4 of the zones in terms of farm, and every other team, all 7 of the other teams, all of a sudden are behind you in weapon mastery and no longer can hit 20 weapon mastery spikes, right? That is using an advantage to force other teams to be poorer than you, right? To build even further advantage on the other teams. If you can, I recommend pushing other teams into each other, right? If especially if you have Wick buff, this is a very, very simple idea. If you have Wick, you just keep running at pings. If people are making pings, you just run at them. You just hold forward. And then, if they're scared of you because you're strong, then they keep running, right? And eventually they'll find other teams and you use them as word, use them as info, and it might be able to give you free 3P opportunities. Generally, if you were ahead, you want to be running at pings. If you're behind, sometimes you still want to be running at pings, but like pings of the weaker teams, right? You want to like find out who is also behind, and you want to kind of try to bully them, right? But generally, especially if you are ahead, you also want to bully the weaker teams. They're the easiest, you know, they're the fodder of the lobby. So yeah, loop it. And then the last idea of pushing your advantage is snowballing towards a game plan. You should know your character once, right? In terms of power spikes. For here, I usually want double force core. That's usually like amp percent plus some sort of skill amp damage increase. It could be amp percent or armor pen. It depends on the season. Sometimes I think I need Scotty more in a game, or I need Gown or something like that. So I'll change what my 2 FCs are, but I generally have an understanding of what I need power spike wise to be strong mid to late game. And so I'm gonna I'm gonna steer my snowball into that direction, right? If I know I have day 2 FC buy and I need +1 FC, the chance of me contesting Omega increases wildly if I can't get the FC through a second FC buy, right? Or if I'm an ADC, whatever, I need 100% crit or a certain amount of attack speed. Like, I don't, oh man, my attacks are so slow. I don't know. I need Beautiful Garment really badly. Contest a meteorite, right? These sort of things. You should be steering your snowball into what gets you strong faster, right? If you're a tank, I don't know, you're SOL. I don't know. You're feeding items to your carries anyway. But no, you could be thinking about like what makes you stronger as a tank too, right? Because as soon as your teammates have 5 items, you start getting items too, which makes you. I mean, tanks already kind of just never die now this season. Uh, the tank season was very successful in making them kind of Thanos, but you can become even stronger now, right? So thank you so much again. Think about these things intentionally in game, right? Try to think about like I am ahead. I want to push advantage. Like don't autopilot in game. Try to think about how you can push advantage at every single point, every single moment, and combine this with the first video of the series about how to think about ER into completing the like orienting in reality sort of thing, right? Where you want to make sure that you're like grounded in the game state at all times and you can find the best chance of winning at all times. So I will leave the next video idea up to you. I'll leave a poll. Not a poll. The comments will be the poll, right? If you have a video idea, out of these 3 are my ideas for what I would want to do. If one of them is like an exclamation mark and you really want it to become the next video, then leave a comment for it. If you see somebody else that has left a comment for that sort of thing, like it. If there is a suggestion that's not listed here, go ahead and leave that as well, right? Maybe I'm like, oh, that actually would be really useful for mid-level players, and then I might consider it, right? Especially if it has a lot of likes as well. So, regardless, thank you, good luck in your games, and message me on Discord if you need help.